Hello, everybody. So today is August 24th. I hope you had a good weekend. In your Edmodo, you are going to scroll down until you find the post that says chemical reaction. So we have a link for the reading. We have the practice questions. Make sure you do those, turn them into me via email. And we are going to get into chemical reactions. So, what is a chemical reaction? So the definition is a chemical reaction is a process in which some substances change into different substances. Okay? The substances that start the chemical reaction are called reactants. The substances that are produced in the reaction are called products. So reactants and products can be elements or compounds. And then the chemical equations or chemical reactions are going to be shown as follows. So you have your reactants on the left, you have your products on the right. So basically, you start with the reactants and you end with the product. So you start with something here and you end up with something different on this side. So chemical reactions can happen at various rates. So the one on the left with the fire extinguisher, that is a very quick chemical reaction. Also, explosions are very quick chemical reactions. Rusting, that is a very slow chemical reaction, happens over a long period of time. So when you have a chemical reaction, you have your reactants on the left. So these are the things that react. That's how you remember reactants. You have your products on the right. These are the things that are produced. That's how you remember products. So this is the chemical equation where hydrogen gas and oxygen gas combine to form water. So they're the same elements on both sides, but they're just combined differently. Okay, these connections between the elements, these are chemical bonds. When things react, the bonds are broken, and when they're produced, new bonds are formed. So there are different types of chemical reactions. We'll learn about them more in depth as we go along. But the chemical reaction above, where we're making water, that is an example of a synthesis reaction. So in a synthesis, two or more reactants are going to combine to form a single product. Decomposition, something is going to break down into its different elements. Single replacement, that's like switching square dance partners. So B is going with C, but then on this side, they switched and A is going with C. So I guess it's not like switching square dance partners. C just dumped B for A. Double replacement. This one is actually like switching square dance partners. So A is with B, C is with D, but then they switch. So A is with D and C is with B. And then combustion is when you have some type of fuel and you expose it to oxygen and then you get carbon dioxide and water. So combustion is a common reaction in cars, in anything that drives, that uses fuel. All right. And then we have energy. So all chemical reactions are going to involve energy. So they need to absorb energy to break the bonds in the reactants. And once they form new bonds, they are going to release energy. So in terms of energy, we have two different types of reactions. And we're going to learn about these more in depth as we get into thermodynamics down the road. So we have exothermic, where energy is released into the environment. And the way you remember exo is the heat is exiting the reaction. Then you have endothermic reactions where the energy, I say heat, but heat is also energy, where the energy is absorbed. So the way you remember an endothermic reaction is it is entering the system. All right, so exo, it's exiting the system. Endo, it is entering the system. So make sure you complete your questions and turn them into me.